And now, another group of people with a stylish image in our anniversary of the week. 55 years ago this week, the First Air Hostess, as they were then known, took off. Another male bastion collapsed as ex-nurse Ellen Church flew the inaugural flight for American Airlines. She's the cheerful one at the top of the stairs. It wasn't long before airlines all over the world began to realise that what passengers appreciated was safety, efficiency and a nice pair of legs. Gary has been out to discover how the job of the air stewardess has changed over the years.
When Britain's first stewardesses took to the air, life was far from glamorous. They flew in converted Lancaster bombers with room for just 13 passengers. Even in those days, style was all important, as former stewardess Felicity Farquharson recalls from the first ever training course.
We had Mr. Lawrence, who'd been one of the head waiters at the Savoy, and I think he thought aircraft were going to be like the Savoy, and we learnt to fillet fish and all about wines and sorbets and ice creams. I still have my notes somewhere, which really didn't bear much relation to service.
In 1945, Cynthia White was the stewardess on the first flight out of Heathrow.
And you had all the napkins and everything, and then you did silver service on the aircraft, bumping up and down because you didn't get over the...
Any accidents with the silver service?
Oh, yes.
And every bit of that from dinner was washed up and relayed, wiped, relayed, ready for the breakfast trays, and that took all night.
According to Cynthia, the noise could be pretty bad too, especially for those who weren't used to it. She remembers the health inspector coming aboard.
He said to me, you know, how long have you been flying in these? And I said, however long, it was quite a long while. And he said, well, by my reckonings, you should be round the bend in 3 months. So that's probably why we're all sitting here.
I'll always want to fly Caledonian. We really ought to try Caledonian. It's the only way to...
Today's stewardesses are sold as the glamour girls of the air, although there's something a little less glamorous about how they learn the ropes.
I hear stories about people with nylon underwear coming down them and a big static build-up. I mean, is that true?
It gets a bit hot.
It gets hot.
As you come down, as the speed, as you get faster.
You soon cool down when all your underwear's disappeared, though, don't you?
That's true.
OK, don't forget to put your brake on.
It's at places like this, the British Caledonian Training Centre, where the girls are taught to stay cool, whatever the problem.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much. Well, this is all very smooth, isn't it? The high life with style. And that's exactly how the stewardesses planned it. And it would stay that way if it wasn't for just one tiny setback. The passengers. Oi! Do you call this a slice of lemon?
This guy had been in the desert for about 6 months, and he got on the flight and he sat at the back of the 111, and I was a bar girl standing right by him doing my bar, and he just kept looking at my legs and going, my God, those thighs.
And sometimes passengers' behaviour is so unexpected that it can ruffle the calm of even the best stewardess.
Well, we have been known to drop a whole dinner over someone, and they've got a sausage resting on the top of their head, a piece of bacon on their shoulder, and scrambled egg in their lap.
Oh,
no problem.
A sausage on the egg. That's a headbanger.
But when the going gets really rough, the girls need skills they won't even find in any training manual. Over at Dan Air, they reckon they've got the answer. The real knack is keeping the passengers entertained.
You made me love you.
And all the time you knew. And of course, I'm singing this behind the curtain, and they don't know who's actually singing it out of the crew.
And if Kathy's sing-along special doesn't slay 'em, Steph is on hand with one of her impressions.
They love it. Actually, they're more frightened when I take the teeth out.
You see, unlike those trailblazing stewardesses of yesteryear, today's girls have got their feet very firmly on the ground.
But we don't have any Debs now. A few Debbies, but no Debs.
A few Debbies.
Our lives in their hands. In the audience now, we have Janet Hughes from British Caledonian, who was in the film that we've just seen. Janet, it's a pretty exciting life, I suppose. Where were you last week?
Last weekend I was in Los Angeles. We hired a car and did a bit of sightseeing.
You still go sightseeing, do you?
Oh, there's still an awful lot to see.
Yeah. And what will you be doing next week?
I've got some days off, and then I go to Africa.
Africa. Sounds quite nice. Just for the weekend, I suppose. Now, what about the old routines the lady was talking about? It sounded like a pretty tough life. Do you reckon you could have handled that?
Well, I don't fancy the uniform, but it must have been a lot more fun, I think, than now.
Well, I wonder if you'd like a chance to take up an offer on that, because, you know, we've got the services of an old Dakota, one of those things around about 1945, I think it was. We wondered if you'd be willing to go up on our behalf. You'd have to get back in the old uniform, I think, and have a go at serving the things and wiping the silver, etc. Would you like to have a go?
I'd love to.
Right, well, not tonight, but we'll do it while you've got a few days off next week, and we'll see what it looks like next week. OK, hold you to that one, and I look forward to that.